Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Bassett here and playing a little Destiny 2. In this video, I'm bringing you my perfected Solar Strand Hunter ignition build. Let's get right into the build, boys. All right. So I will have some gameplay at the end. I'll go over the gameplay loop. But right now, we're rocking the Gunslinger. And of course, Blade Barrage, because it is the best de facto super for damage in the game. I'm running Acrobat's Dodge, so we'll see how this ties into the later build, but we'll be getting Radiant when we activate our Dodge. Triple Jump is the best jump. Fight me, bro. Running Knife Trick because I can't aim, so that nice spread of scorching fire really helps out. Healing Grenade, this will be triggered on an oh shit moment, and then it'll back up with our class ability, or excuse me, with our armor sets. Okay, for aspects, Crack Shot, duh, it's de facto the best aspect in the game right now. This is, and you know, everybody's doing Crack Shot builds, so I'm gonna hop on board. So running the Crack Shot, and then when we get a higher class stat than 100, it'll also increase the ability damage. But landing 3 shots cures you and spreads more Scorch. And then I am running On Your Mark, so precision hits or precision kills give you extra reload speed and weapons stat, so that'll give us a plus 50 to our weapons stat, as well as when you use your class ability. So we Crack Shot, we'll get a couple stacks of On Your Mark as well, but then at 10 stacks we'll cure ourselves. Okay, as for aspects, so this all ties into Scorch, so this build's going to be focused around getting as much Scorch on the target as possible. So obviously, you know, if we are looking to Scorch targets with Crack Shot, then we're going to want our class ability to recharge faster when we do that Scorch. So Ember of Singeing. We're going to want Ember of Ashes, because when we Scorch stuff with our knives, class ability, our weapons, more Scorch stacks. And then I'm going to run Ember of Searing, because when we defeat those Scorch targets, you get melee energy back, so your knives, and you can throw your knives for Scorch. And it also gives us plus 10 class, and most importantly, a Fire Sprite. We're going to use those Fire Sprites for restoration, so Ember of Mercy. When you revive an ally or pick up a Fire Sprite, you get restorations. This is going to, you know, dramatically improve our survivability on the field. It also gives us plus 10 health, which is helpful in a second. And then the last fragment will be Ember of Solence. Extra radiant and restoration duration. So we will be going Radiant when we activate On Your Mark, or when you activate Crack Shot. So every time, you won't need to throw a knife to go Radiant, you'll just be dodging, Crack Shot, and then you're Radiant. Picking up those Fire Sprites give restoration, and then also our Grenade gives restoration. So that's how the build stacks out. Now, even more importantly are the weapons. So we're going to be running the Synchronic Roulette. Buddy, I'll put a link at the end of the video of how to get this submachine gun, but this thing shreds. You're going to want Attrition Orbs and Chaos Reshaped. So primarily this is going to be your primary weapon. You know, you don't need to get kills, you just need to do damage to get orbs. Those orbs are going to fuel abilities. And then Chaos Reshaped, we're going to get extra damage and healing just by using the weapon. And then I really like the Origin trait, Nanotech Tracer Missiles. Every couple shots you get a homing micro missile, which just rips apart barrier champions. Look at that video. Look at it! It's also a barrier weapon. I do like to run my weapons where I have access to all 3 champion types, so a lot of my loadouts will feature this. Now that we've got barrier covered, the Motif 41 grenade launcher is going to be our solar grenade launcher, and you're going to want auto-loading holster. Since we don't have a way to reload it with our dodge ability, we're going to rely on auto-loading holster, so every 3 seconds it'll reload itself. And then orbs, you do sustained damage, which this does amazing sustained damage. You'll get more orbs. It is a overload weapon, so pop it out for those captains that have overload. And then Dragon's Breath, I like it. The only problem is that sometimes I blow myself up. I blow myself up, buddy. But it is an amazing weapon. You know, the play style is basically like every 3 seconds or every 5 seconds. Pull out the grenade launcher, shoot it. Pull out the rocket launcher, shoot it, put it away, and then do steady damage with the machine gun. So these are kind of like set it and forget it. Who remembers that 80s infomercial? Yeah, me neither. Okay. But Dragon's Breath, I got the catalyst. So we're dropping more fire sprites. You kill something, it'll drop fire sprites. We're also getting fire sprites from killing scorch targets. So there's going to be lots of fire sprites on the field for all the goodies of restoration. Get it up to like 15-second duration restoration. Pretty nice. Okay, I'll show where to get these from. So if you're wanting the synchronic roulette, come over to the director. You can go over to Neptune, and then you can farm it, progress through the story missions until you get access to the terminal overload ability. And I got mine when this ability was down here, so it rotates daily, down in the harbor. So just perform the public event, and at the end you get chest activities, and then just roll the dice, check your luck. You'll get it eventually. Okay, for the motif. This is getting from Banshee. So head over to Banshee. You can purchase, I think it's 3. Maybe I'll switch over right here on the screen. I'll zip over there. Ka-chow. So here's Banshee in the tower. Hey there, gang. How you doing, fella? You can go over to focus decoding for the weapons section, and then right down here. I'm blind. Oh, there it is right there. Motif. So then, yeah, 3 engrams and 15,000 glimmer. Pick it up. And then because I'm a precog there, Tom Cruise. Here's where you get the fire, Dragon's Breath, rocket launcher, solar rocket launcher. Come over to the exotic gear stuff, and it's right there. Buy it. Exotic Cipher, Glimmer, go. Hiya! But yeah, once you buy that from Banshee, get your roll. I think it took several times, but I got it. It's pretty great, and this fits nicely into the build. And then Dragon's Breath, obviously, you get from the tower, the Monument, Triumph to Monument Tower, exotics. So just pick that up for a exotic Cipher and some Glimmer. I got my Zyphers from Zur. Flood of Z's, buddy. I need to go to bed. But grab your Dragon's Breath. Okay, for the artifact, this is going to be huge, pal. So this is after lots of playtime, a lot of testing. This is going to be our artifact setup. Right, running a kindling trigger. So when we radiant, right, so you do your dodge, that makes you radiant. Now, your solar weapons, meaning your solar grenade, will scorch. Perfect. I am running Armor Smith for a little bit extra damage resistance and increased melee damage. So when you break a shield, you can throw your knives. Say you're doing a barrier champion, you watch them explode. So you break the shield, throw the knife, it does extra damage, and it'll trigger, progress that torch. It'll progress that scorch up to 100%. I'm running Torch, which is when radiant, which we dodge, crack shot, we're radiant. Now and we pick up an orb. Our Strand submachine gun will have unraveling rounds, and so it'll do extra damage. I do like Dragon's Bite, because when you break a shield with the Strand weapon, it suspends them. So say you're fighting like a guy with a solar shield or a void shield, you use your Strand submachine gun, periodically, I don't know, it's like 30%, they'll get suspended in the air and unable to do anything. I've even seen this happen to champions. And then the big 3, right? So pick up an Orb of Power, Unraveling Orbs. Our Strand submachine gun will get unraveling rounds. You damage the targets, you'll get threadlings, and then when you get a kill with a threadling or a damage with a threadling, you get woven mail. So that's extra 40% damage reduction. So you'll just be running around the field picking up fire sprites and the woven mail, and you'll be basically invincible. Okay, as for the armor set, right, I'm running the Shards of Galanor. It just shards my pant, because this is amazing. So with the Shards of Galanor, your throwing knife, you want to be spamming the throwing knife to get your cooldown on your super. Plus, if you hit most of the throwing knives with, or most of the shrapnel from your super on a boss, you get like 50% of your super back. So pretty amazing, and it does extra damage. So without it, In the gun range, I was doing like 9K, and then with it, I was doing like 16. So almost double damage of your throwing knife just by slapping these on. And my build is basically a one time fits all, right? I'm not swapping between a damage and an ad clear. It's all just one. It's all built into one. But the Shards of Galanor are amazing. And then for the 4-piece armor set, run an Exodus down. This, hands down, in my opinion, the best all-arounder armor set, and you can farm this really easy from Nessus. But when your shields become broken, you pick up Orbs of Power and ammo bricks. So that's nice. We don't have Marksman's Dodge, so we're not scooping up ammo automatically. So this will trigger, pick up armor or ammo stuff. And then most importantly, when you spend at least 3 armor charges, you get 29.5%, almost 30% damage reduction. So you want to try to keep, I think at 1, it's like you spend 1 armor charge, it's 10%, 2 is 17, and 3 is 29. Something like that. So 3 is the basic minimum for investment. That's why I have on the hands, I have a grenade kickstart. That way it's kind of a no-brainer. You're like, oh, I'm getting hurt. You throw your grenade. Not only does it apply restoration, but then it gives you that damage reduction. So it's kind of you don't have to think about it. I mean, look at the side and see if you have 3 armor charge or not. But just chuck it at your feet, and then you take 30% less damage while getting resto. Other than that, for the stat distribution, right, I did try to stack out as much super as possible. 200 ideally, and then you want a high class stat so you can get your crack shot back. And then with the weapons bonus from our other aspect, on your mark, at 10, we're getting 150 weapons, so that's just going to help our weapons do even more damage. And then a balanced melee and grenade. And I did mention this earlier. I said, we have 10% or 10 health. The only reason is we're making a ton of orbs. We're making orbs all over the place. So every time we pick up an orb, we now get 7 HP back. So 10 is nice just for that little bit of extra survivability. But other than that, we're running double dynamo. So I'm crack shotting. I'm getting 4% super back. And then harmonic siphon, so even more orb generation from our 2 solar weapons. I do like having the Strand reloader. I mean, on your mark is giving the Strand submachine gun extra reload, but that's even more reload. It just feels a lot better than having to wait 3 seconds for a reload. I'm running a couple of arc and solar resistances, as well as a concussive dampener. That's just for damage reduction, 15% damage reduction. And then here, this is nice. I did make a quality of life adjustment. So it did feel like when I was doing dungeons and I was going into boss phase, I was running a little light on rocket ammo. So I did throw in a solar scavenger, just that way with the high weapon stack and the scavenger mod. I'm getting 3 rockets per brick. So that helps out quite a bit. And then just 1 solar and 1 strand surge kind of help the performance of the guns. And then last on the cape, right, running Reaper, time dilation, powerful attraction. When you dodge, you pick up orbs, and then you make more orbs. Pretty simple. But there you have it, boys. So I'll be going over some gameplay here in a second, so stick around for that, and I'll do a little narration. Hiya! Alrighty, gentlemen, here we are over in the Nessus Lost Sector, -30 power level. I'm going to start off with some scorching shots. That way it gives me a fire sprite. Pick that up for a little bit of restoration. And then here's the unstops. So Dragon's Breath will handle the unstops. So pop a Dragon's Breath, then you want to hit him with the Scorch. That way it triggers an explosion, and then because we're Radiant, the grenade launcher then finishes him off. We have an orb on the ground and a fire sprite for resto, and now we have unraveling rounds. So second champion, going to be rocket launcher, knives for more Scorch, crack shot for Scorch, and then finish him off with the synchronic. Barrier champions, 1 rocket, and then just spam your SMG. They explode. Dead! He's dead! I'm going to drop a grenade. That way we trigger some damage reduction and a little bit of restoration. Now that my SMG has unraveling rounds, Gonna spread some threadlings, get some woven mail. So now we're rocking 10 on your mark stacks. So we're getting cures from Crackshot. And then we've got resto and woven mail, plus the damage reduction from the Nessus armor set. Alright, for these guys, right, we're just shooting them with the strand, give them a knife, little explosions, little kaboomies. For the barriers, I do like to hit them with a rocket. They ignite and explode, and then you can spam your submachine gun to break the barrier, and he's done. You're done, bud. You're done. Look at this. See that guy with the purple shield just got suspended? Yes, that's from the trait in our artifact perk. So that happens quite a bit. Now this guy's going to be difficult. I don't know what's going on here, but he keeps popping the barrier at the wrong time, or maybe I just can't play the game. But he's going to die here pretty soon. I keep mistiming things. Be careful, because sometimes you shoot your rocket, it'll bounce off that barrier. But get out of my face, pal. There we go. We're going to cook him. Finally, he's donezo. All right, let's grab some orbs and any other goodies on the field. And then I'm going to see that the boss spawns in. So Crackshot to build up some stuff. There's the boss man. We do have our super ready, and he is toast. Look at that. One shot. Kaboom, buddy. That's why I love the Shards of Galanor. They shid on kids. There is our other unstop. He's not even... Or there's the boss. Oh, he's done. Okay. For the rest of the cleanup here, we do have unraveling rounds, so we're going to spread a lot of threadlings all over the field. Chew them up, crack shot everybody, roast them with the grenade launcher, and you're done. So yeah, I'm really having a lot of fun with this build. Seems like it's super good for ad clear. It has some really great boss DPS with the super ability. And just looking at stuff, and there we go. We're all done. I don't know. Time me. How fast was that, boys? All right, anyway. That's it for the video, fellas. Like and subscribe is always appreciated. Questions and comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.